Good morning. It's November the 13th, and it's about let's see, 7:50 a.m. just a little bit after sunrise, about 30 minutes ago. We're up here in the Laurel Snow Pocket Wilderness in Dayton, Tennessee. We've come up here because I heard that there were still some fall colors left along here, and I wanted to go along this creek, and the flow's kind of low, but the water is really clean today, and I wanted to get a couple compositions I had in mind. So we're going to hike on up the trail here and see what we can see this morning, and I'll take you along for the ride. The hike up here out of the parking lot is fairly easy hike for about the first mile. You go along the creek as you hike up this flat area. I believe it's an old road, not road bed, but railroad bed. And the city of Dayton used to get their water from a reservoir up here. And you'll see the pipe every once in a while along this path, this trail. This has become a really popular destination down here in the last couple of years. And I used to be able to come down here and not see a whole lot of activity going on. But that's really changed in the last year or so. Just a short distance out of the parking lot to the first composition, and I climbed down off the trail from up there. There's a place along the rock wall you can get down, and this is the composition I'm looking at right here. Okay, we're set up here at this composition. I just took a couple shots there. It looks pretty good down there. There's a little bit of color up in that area up there above me. I'm gonna try to pick up. As you can see, the sun is starting to come in to the valley, so I'm gonna have to work pretty fast here. So we're going to climb up out of here, and this is the rock wall that you kind of come down in here against. There's a place here or there to put your foot as you come down through that crevice right there. We're going to head right back up to the trail. Whew, well, that was a climb. That was a pretty good composition, not bad, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. So we're going to hike up the trail a little bit further and keep looking in this creek. I've got this real specific composition in mind. Short distance up, you cross this real long bridge that I'm on right now, and it takes you across Payne Creek. Now there's another waterfall or two up there on Payne Creek, but it's a little bit of a rugged hike up to it. Right now we're still on this level trail out of the parking lot, and you can see all around here there's remnants of mining days when they built walls and stuff to hold the railroad beds back and things. There's one right behind me right there. Now we're going to continue on up the trail here. We found a spot here to go off the trail down to the creek and look at this other little bitty cascades down here. I see a little color behind it, so we're going to see if it looks any good or not. It's real difficult sometimes to find a place to get down to the creek here along the trail, and there's about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 places. And sometimes you see a composition you want to get down to, and there just ain't no way down to the creek to it. I guess you could cheat and get you a telephoto out and take one of them kind of pictures. So that's where we're heading right there. Looks pretty good. So we're going to go down here just a little ways further. We're down here scouting around and trying to find the perfect place to set up. And this is what it looks like right here. Now there's a tree right here that's kind of hanging over. I don't like that, so I'm probably going to move. I don't want that in my picture. Switched over to my 24 to 70. I was using the 14 to 30 on that previous shot. And this tree right here that's above me, I'm underneath it so I could get that out of the frame. And this is what I'm kind of looking at right there, what the camera's looking at. There's a lot of nice color up in the trees still. So we got the circular polarizer on here with the 24 to 70 and the Z6 II. We're gonna take a shot of this here. Okay, we're set up. We're at ISO 100 f/16 and it's 1.6 seconds. So we're gonna take a focus stack shot. We're not gonna do any bracketing this time. I fell in love with this scene right here. I thought the image turned out rather well. I'm very pleased with it. Hope you like it too. So when I come up here to the pocket wilderness, as it's known, I'm usually drawn to the water features because that's what I like to photograph. But in the springtime, in April, this place here is full of wildflowers. They're all over the place, and it's really pretty. There's a lot of other things to photograph up here besides water, so that's just what I get drawn to. We're coming up to a place here on Richland Creek that has always intrigued me. It's a pretty cool waterfall cascade, and the problem is you can't hardly get down to it unless you creek walk for about a half a mile. It's so steep up here and the roadbed's up so high off the creek. But when we get up here, I'm going to show it to you. I might try to shoot it from up here on the trail. I brought my Tamron 70 to 200, which is just back from the repair shop for a firmware upgrade. And that's a whole nother story right there. We're coming up on that feature I was talking about. And I'll tell you, from up here, it really looks interesting. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it. There it is right there down in the creek, and it kind of goes all the way across, but when the water flows good, the water just kind of fingers over the rock. And I'm going to go up here a little bit farther down the trail and see if I can't get a shot sideways at it. We're going to turn right here and look at it. We're a little bit closer now through the trees here. Man, I just think it's pretty. I might just try to sit up here with the 24 to 70 and get a shot of it. It's got some nice color right here in the foreground, and maybe I can make something of this image right here. Get away from these big old trees right here next to me. We'll get set up here and try it. Okay, we got set up for this shot. I'm using the 24 to 70 on the Z6 II, and we're just gonna do a 2-shot focus stack, and I'll show you why in a minute. We're not doing any HDR photography today. The lighting conditions aren't really that harsh, and I don't like to do HDRs. They're just too much to deal with, and I think these cameras do a really good job with dynamic range, and you got to be able to get your shot in one shot. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see what I'm looking at. Here's the shot right here, and this tree and that tree and this tree are not in the shot. I'm shooting right through the middle of them there and getting these leaves and these trees in the foreground. Now the wind's blowing just a little bit, so I've increased my ISO to 2000, and I've got my shutter speed is set at 1/13 on f/16. I think I'm going to drop that to f11, so we'll do that right now and see if we can get that shutter speed up a little bit. By doing that, I can get my shutter speed up to a 30th. I should be able to freeze them leaves with a 30th of a second. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shot and see if we can't get that to happen. So this image was 2 shots focus stacked. On one of the shots, I increased the ISO so I could get the shutter speed up to stop the leaves from moving in the wind and not make them so blurry. Then I took both images into Photoshop and layered them, and then painted in the leaves on top of the other layer to blend them together. This shot has eluded me for about 2 years. Every time I come up here, I see it and I look at it, and I look at how you got to get down there to it, And there's just really no good way for an old guy like me to get down there. Now if I was, you know, like I said, a rock climber or rope rappeller or one of them kind of dudes, well, I could probably do that. So I'm gonna go with this shot I got up here. Got another hiker coming down the trail. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good.
How are you this morning?
Doing a little photography and a little vlogging.
Yes, sir. Well, I won't interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting at all.
All right.
All right. Talking to that fella coming up the trail. He just moved down here from Illinois to Dayton, and he was going up to Laurel Falls. So I was going to go down here in the creek again to a place that's called Henderson Cascades. Well, the sun is down there in on it, so we're going to go on up the trail a bit further, and maybe when we come back things might change, but I doubt it. It's blue skies, there ain't a cloud in the sky. So here we are at another bridge. There's several bridges up here that you cross. I think this here's the third bridge. Sometimes it's at a slight angle. Sometimes on a wet day it can be a little slick. Okay, about 1.5 miles of easy walking, maybe one slight switchback hill climbs, which I've shown you, and you come to this bridge, this brand new bridge, and you cross it, and when you get to the other side it takes you on up to Laurel Falls. We didn't go all the way up there today. Guy scared me. How you doing? Okay, we turned off the trail that goes to Laurel Falls and on the trail that goes to Snow Falls. We're not going to Snow Falls, but we're going down by the creek here, the Henderson Creek. I've seen some cascades there before, and there might be some color down there, so we're gonna go down there and have a look. All right, we're down here along Henderson Creek, walking up, or actually walking downstream, where I seen this cascade at. There's a great big rock. I mean, it's huge right here. I'm just kind of following a makeshift trail. I've kind of gone off the main trail to get down here. Beautiful. Big rock. Big as a house. Where Laurel Creek, which comes from that direction, and Laurel Falls, spills into Henderson Creek, which comes from that direction, and they come together right there. There's a cascade over there. I don't know if I can get to it from here. I didn't bring my water shoes today. Looks like the only way you could get to it would be to go back and get on the other side and come down that side. We'll walk down here and have a look. It's pretty right here though. A lot of fall colors. Well, I decided since I didn't have my water shoes today that I wouldn't chance it. So I'm gonna head back towards the bridge and go back across it and see if I can whack on down the other side of the creek and get to where I need to go. It looked pretty interesting. I think it's worth the effort. So we'll go see. We made it down the other side of this creek. It's a pretty good whack down here. I had to climb over some down trees. Almost ripped my pants on a branch. Luckily I didn't. Done that before though. Sat on a rock one time and ripped the whole seat out of my pants. Had to go the whole day with my underwear showing. Anyways, we're making our way down here, and we're almost to the end of Laurel Creek, where it comes into Henderson Creek, where I seen those cascades a minute ago. I can see it now. It's just around this big tree right over there, and a while ago we was over there on the other side where that big rock is right there. So we're over here now, and we're making our way down to the cascade to see what it looks like. A lot of rocks down here. I bet there's a lot of reptiles in the summertime. Well, that's really pretty right there. Real nice cascade. We're gonna go down here and get set up, see if we can get a a nice composition before the sun hits us right here. Okay, come upon this scene down here, the cascade I was looking for when I was on the other side, and then the sun is shining up there behind me in the trees. So I'm going to take a few HDR shots here since the dynamic range is pretty high down here with that sun back there.
I thought the image turned out pretty well considering the conditions. It's always fun to go down and find new compositions. This is down in an area I've never ventured into before while visiting Laurel Snow, even though I've been there many, many times.
So the composition that I'm going to go for is right here. It's got the less amount of reflection in the water, which the polarizer can't get it all out. We're shooting this at ISO 100, f11 at 1/4 second. We're bracketing the shots, and we're going to go ahead and focus stack these also.
Here we have the resulting image. I'm not particularly pleased with this, but I thought I would show it to you. Some days you're the hammer, and some days you're the nail.
So Laurel Snow is probably my second favorite place to come to. Ozone Falls being number one, and this here's probably number two. And then if you want to know what my number three is, well, you'll have to wait for another adventure, which I'm overdue to go up there, but we have to wait till it rains a little bit, and it's unfortunate. It's kind of dry right now. Well, that's October for you, the driest month here in Tennessee, so things are a little bit low right now. But as soon as the winter starts picking up, we get a little more rain, I'll do a vlog on that third location and reveal it.